And so when we talk about healthy relationships, it's you being able to put yourself in the position that no matter what it is, as long as you love you first, as long as you know you first, as long as you don't find yourself conforming to what everybody else or society says you need to do, then you are in an amazing place. I did a post not long ago because sometimes we find ourselves attached to friends that don't serve us, right? Reason, season, lifetime. There are people in our lives for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. And you got to have the courage to figure out, is this person's season over, right? So we find ourselves in a situation where we confide in those friends and we're like, girl, I don't really think this is the relationship for me. I think it's not working. And the response that sometimes our seasoned generation will say, because my mom said it, is he putting his hands on you?
Right.
Does he have to be? Maybe I just didn't feel valued or seen or heard or loved, right? And that's a good enough reason. And so I challenge you all today to A, get out of your own way. Yeah. To be able to fill your cup and give what's in your cup for you and save it for you and give everybody else that overflow. And the other thing is I want you to be able to not feel like, man, I'm in a real good position and I got to keep upholding this image, right? Because I can't step out of it and tell somebody what I'm going through. We need a village. Sometimes we just need people around us that will love us and that will affirm us in whatever it is that we are going through. And we struggle with that sometimes, right? We hold it close to the vest because it's easier for me to keep it to myself versus sharing with somebody else. You go get all this trauma that I've been through. Let me tell you what happened. Because guess what, right? That's how we learn from it. We learn that I'm not in this doggone thing alone. And sometimes we just need to hear that. So I want you all to do something for me. Either use your phone or a piece of paper, but I got two things that I'm going to ask of you. The first thing is when you have a moment, so whether it is when you're in your room tonight, you go home, I want you to spend just 5 minutes of some alone time. And I want you to write yourself a letter. And I want you to just affirm yourself, right? I want you to start to develop that healthy relationship with you. And I want you to just simply write yourself a letter and look back at it a few months from now, a few weeks from now, and be like, girl, you did that, you're doing good. Because at the end of the day, we can look and be strong as we want to, but we are all struggling with something. And then the last thing that I want you to do, that I'm going to challenge you to do, and that's what I want you to do here, if you don't mind. So a piece of paper, your phone, but I want you to write down one thing. You can do two if you want. That one thing that is holding you back, that you know you need to let go of. And then once you write it down, or put it in your phone, wherever you put it, make sure it's something that you truly can and are willing to let go of, right? Make sure it's attainable. And then I want you to ball it up and throw it away and don't ever look at it again, right? Because that's the thing that's holding you back. That's the thing that's stopping you from your greatness. That's the thing that's preventing you from going through it versus around it. And so I'm going to challenge you to do that, not for me, but for you. And so I don't know where I am on time, but I want to open it up for any questions that you all might have, and just to simply say, thank you for giving me your time today. Thank you for allowing me to share my journey with you. Yes.
How did you, because a lot of what I'm hearing is like your mom. I said, do we have the same mom? Because she looks at it as me being disrespectful when I try and tell her, I'm like, but Ma, this is what you're saying to me, or this is what.
And she'll tell me, well, Alicia, it's your mouth, or you're just being disrespectful. So how did you talk to your mom in a way that, because I'm like, okay, I don't want to be a lot of times I'll just let it go because I don't want, like, God, she'll say I'm disrespectful again. So I need to learn how to get over that hump. And I love my mom, and I don't want to not be there with my mom.
Yeah.
But how do you heal yourself and get better and still show respect to her.
I can relate in more ways than one. And yes, I love my mom. But I've also had to realize that I'm a mom now, right? And there are times that she will come in and she'll try to dictate what I do with my kids, and I'll say, this is my house. And I'm not being disrespectful, but I am a grown woman at this point, so I've got to learn and teach and break that cycle. I had to commit to breaking that generational curse, so I won't do things like you did, right? And you have to have the courage to simply say that, I love you, and I'm not being disrespectful, but I've got to be able to put me and make my decisions based on how I'm feeling and what I'm doing in this moment. It's not about you, because it's not, right? She has to trust and be okay with, I've raised an amazing daughter, you go about your way, and there are going to be times that you don't agree with what I do. And that's fine. We go agree to disagree, and you keep it moving. Now, the question is, will it hurt you more than will it hurt her? Right? So we put pressure on ourselves versus just simply saying, I got to move, right? See, life requires us to pivot and shift. Life requires us to do things that we wouldn't normally do. Life requires us to do things that sometimes our parents think is disrespectful, but is it? Right? Just because they did things a certain way doesn't mean I'm going to do it the same way. I allow my kids to ask me why. You get 1 or 2 times to say, Mommy, why? Because I need to educate you on why I'm saying no, or that you can't do something, so you ain't sneaking out of windows like I was. And you ain't curious because I didn't educate you and tell you why. So you get 1 or 2 times to say, Mommy, why? My mom doesn't agree with it. They ain't yours, right? I allow them to do that. And so I'm going to keep you lifted, but that's an internal battle that you have that you've got to be able to overcome. It's not easy. I know it's not. But you can't hold on to that. I love you.